Hillary Clinton wants to have her upcoming Jeffrey Epstein deposition on camera in public. She's set to testify towards the end of the month on February 26th. The following day, a deposition will be held for former President Bill Clinton. More in a moment, but Cenk, what do you think about this potential strategy for the Clintons?
I like it. Clintons are playing poker with Trump, and they saw that he had a weak hand, so they're doubling down. I'm gonna explain why in a minute, but let Jordan give you the facts first.
Well, we have more. Hillary Clinton called out House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer in a post on X, writing, "For 6 months, we engaged Republicans on the Oversight Committee in good faith. We told them what we know under oath. They ignored all of it. They moved the goalposts and turned accountability into an exercise in distraction." She continues, "So let's stop the games. If you want this fight, Rep. James Comer, let's have it in public. You love to talk about transparency. There's nothing more transparent than a public hearing, cameras on. We will be there." The testimony and this call out come after months of arguing between James Comer and the Clintons. Here's what she said earlier this week on Newsmax.
How certain are you that this will happen on those 2 dates later this month?
I'm 100% certain. Look, what the Clintons saw today was that there were going to be a whole lot of Democrats join with every Republican in holding them in contempt of Congress. And they know that the Merrick Garland Department of Justice set a precedent against people who defy congressional subpoenas. They did that to Navarro and Bannon after they were held in contempt of Congress. So once the Clintons realized that the writing was on the wall and they couldn't get more than one Republican to peel over and we were going to gain some Democrats, then they said, okay, all right, we give in, we'll do whatever we need.
Yeah.
And what we need is a full subpoena, and that's what we're gonna get.
Now, Oversight Chair James Comer rejected requests for a closed-door deposition in New York and written testimony from the couple. The couple agreed to deposition dates under Comer's terms after the chair began teeing up a House vote to hold the Clintons in contempt of Congress. Comer was also asked if there were concerns of the Clintons pleading the Fifth, and here is his response.
Are you concerned that Bill's just gonna plead the Fifth like we saw with Joe Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor?
I think it's gonna be difficult for Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton to plead the Fifth because they've been talking a big game for the last 24 hours that they want the American people to see. They want the American people to learn the truth and all that. Okay, well, if the truth is you can't answer the questions, you plead the Fifth, then I think that's gonna be a mark that will ban them from social gatherings and everything else, because most liberals in America are very concerned about getting the truth, the Epstein whole investigation. I don't think the truth's what they think it is, but they want anyone that spent a lot of time with Jeffrey Epstein to have to answer questions. And the Clintons, to my knowledge, have never really sat down and answered questions.
Now, once the Clintons agreed, their lawyers claim that Comer added last-minute requirements for the depositions to be recorded on video. The Clintons' lawyers accused Comer in a Tuesday letter of adding new stipulations about a video requirement for the deposition right before the couple agreed to testify. In that letter, the lawyers urged the chair to consider a public hearing instead. Though you have notably never asked the Clintons to appear in an open hearing, we now believe that will best suit our concerns about fairness. Their answers and your questions can be seen by all to be judged accordingly. The Oversight Committee posted the email exchanges on X between the committee and the Clintons' lawyers about the terms of the deposition agreement. And in those alleged emails, the committee did note the deposition would be video recorded and there would be no time limit set. Per the committee, the Clintons are going to Clinton and try to spin the facts. On Tuesday at the 11th hour, their lawyers, Jonathan Skladany and Ashley Callan, said their clients accepted the terms of the depositions. These terms are no different than any other deposition we have held on this case, even with Republicans like former AG Bill Barr and Secretary Alex Acosta. Then they pretend that we were moving the goalpost when they received, along with the subpoenas, the House deposition guidance that explicitly mentions video recordings. We are not going to debate the meaning of the word "is." We are going to get answers for the American people, the full truth. Comer accused the couple of only agreeing because the fear of being punished. But the Clintons' demand for a live hearing has no doubt put pressure on Republicans. Additionally, former Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene chimed in, agreeing for transparency, saying transparency is everything and much needed right now. And there is an update to this after the story was produced. Bill Clinton took to X and added, "I will not sit idly as they use me as a prop in a closed door kangaroo court by a Republican Party running scared. If they want answers, let's stop the games and do this the right way in a public hearing where the American people can see for themselves what this is really about." Cenk, which side do you think is going to come out on top here?
So first I want to trace back how this happened, right? So the Clintons say, well, I don't know that we want to testify. We reported on that here. So it's not like that didn't happen, that did happen. And then Trump came out in an interview and looked like he was panicked. And when they asked him about Bill Clinton testifying, he's like, I mean, Bill Clinton, I like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton likes me, I don't know about that. And that was strange, right? And then you realize, oh, right, if you set a precedent for a president having to testify in open public hearings at the House, well, when Trump is no longer president, they could just subpoena him and then he would have to go and testify. He don't like that. So the Clintons are like, okay, they sense weakness, so they double down. They're like, yeah, let's do it, and let's do it in public. Well played, I like it. Now, for me, that's a win-win because I want the Clintons to testify, and I'm very curious about some of the things that are in the Epstein files. I'd love to ask Bill Clinton about it, and even Hillary Clinton about it. And then if that makes it so that Trump will have to testify later, amazing, awesome. I'm not partisan in that way. I couldn't care less. I hope we find out the secrets to both the Clintons and Trump. Right? So this is working out nicely so far for the American people. Did the Republicans want to do political games and only invite the Clintons and then have it be backdoor and selectively leak? Of course, they've done that dozens of times already. It's not called the Comer, but it should be called the Comer. Maybe it will be after this. So that's a Comer 101. So I like that they're calling the bluff on it, and I'd love to have them testify. And then Jordan, you mentioned the Fifth Amendment, and look, even back when I was in law school, I was like, I know why the Fifth Amendment exists. I think there's other ways to prevent the state coercing something from you or torturing you. I've never loved it, to be honest. But so when somebody says to me, if somebody's saying the Fifth Amendment, they might be guilty. I think, well, logically, I think that's probably true, right? So, and the person who agrees with me is Donald Trump. He said, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? So that's a quote of his from a long time ago. Now, Jordan, you want to guess if Donald Trump has ever taken the Fifth Amendment?
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Probably many times.
Well, you're right. It's almost like you cover the news. Okay, but now the harder question. You want to know how many times, give me a guess on how many times Donald Trump has taken the Fifth Amendment in his life.
Honestly, probably several hundred.
Correct. 440 times. 440 times. He's amazing. If you take the Fifth, it means you're guilty. I take the Fifth, I take the Fifth, I take the Fifth, I take the Fifth. Okay. It's a confession of a sort.
It's either that or I think just cliche, I don't recall answer that we have seen countless times in congressional hearings. Maybe. I think also an element of this is they're worried that the Clintons just go scorched earth. They do have an axe to grind. They hate this guy. He beat Hillary in 2016. They don't like him. He's been singling them out for years. He's been blaming things, have been taking shots at them for years. They might see this as an avenue for revenge. I mean, Bill Clinton knows probably a lot, maybe more than most other people who are mentioned in those files. I think Comer and House Oversight Republicans are worried about them saying something that immediately gets broadcast. I think they want that ability to contain anything that might be damaging that they can then redact. We've seen how heavily and thoroughly they've redacted these files to protect Trump. I think the Clintons want an opportunity, maybe, and that's why Comer and House Oversight Republicans don't want that to be live and public.
Well, Jordan and I have had some debates about whether we should talk to and encourage Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, et cetera. So I wanted to end the story with graphic number 8 here. There's one other person who agrees with Jordan and I that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton should testify, and that what Hillary Clinton said makes sense. Let's see who that person is. Oh, look at that, Marjorie Taylor Greene. She writes, in response to Hillary Clinton, transparency is everything and much needed right now. So anyone who wants to know more about the Epstein files, which includes Marjorie Taylor Greene and us, are very happy with this development. We would have taken the Clintons testifying to begin with, even better that it's in public, and even better if it also forces Trump to testify.
Personally, I don't care which party you're part of. If you're in there should be accountability for you. If you were involved in any way, there should be accountability. You should be forced to testify. You should have the book thrown at you if you were involved in a meaningful way. The only party that's protecting their own is the Republican Party. So I think it's a very clear difference in how people on both sides of the political spectrum are reacting to these stories.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.